Dr. Phillip Lee.
Thank you, Mr. Deputy Speaker. In the spirit of the motion, I will be as super fast as possible. Can I first say, can I draw members' attention to my register of members' interests? And can I congratulate the member for Penrith and the Border for securing this debate. I will talk first about the local position with regards to broadband, and I'm going to concentrate on the first and third parts, the rural need and superfast broadband need in particular. And then the second part of my speech, I will speak about the potential for satellite broadband and how this may actually provide a solution for those remote and those remote homes and businesses that many of my members represent. You may indeed, I wonder what I'm doing here, to be honest with you, because I'm the member for Bracknell. Bracknell is part of the Thames Valley. 10% of the world's IT business is based in the Thames Valley. Bracknell is part of the golden triangle of Newbury, Reading and Bracknell. We have Oracle, we have Microsoft, we have Hewlett-Packard, we have Dell, we have Fujitsu, Siemens. We have so many I haven't got time to list. And yet, a part of my constituency, only 6-7 miles away, until very recently, had dial-up internet. And I do wonder why. And I get, like most members here, and I presume that's why there are so many. My mailbag is full of complaints about this, and in particular for one part, which is Finchampstead, a village to the west of my constituency, which is packed full of people who work in the IT sector. I knock on the door and they answer it, and I ask for them for my support, and they say, yep, fair enough, but how come I cannot get fast broadband? I work for a variety of companies, get listed, and yet I come home and I cannot get a decent internet link. And I have absolutely no answer. And it does beg the question. I mean, I've heard some contributions from the other side about how we couldn't predict what was going to happen. Well, yes, we could. Yes, some of us did. And indeed, not just with internet, but also with mobile phone usage, it was pretty obvious the direction of travel. You could argue about the capacity needed might not have been predicted, but we all knew it was going to grow. So I've been convening meetings, and BT have kindly come in to see me. I'm sure everybody has received the briefing today from BT on fibre optic. Now, on the fibre optic outlay, and they have assured me of the various dates that they're going to hit on with fibre optic plans, and these dates have now been pushed back. And I just wonder, you know, I'm in Berkshire. This is not some glorious part of remote countryside in Cumbria or in the Yorkshire Dales. I'm in Berkshire, and I don't have decent internet service. Indeed, my own home in a semi-rural place in Berkshire, I cannot really get the internet. It's utterly pointless. So I've sort of inquired about this, and I've tried to work out, well, what's the solution? Because I'm not convinced that fibre optic will be there for people. So this is why I'll move on to satellite broadband. Now, this may seem remarkable, but you can actually get decent broadband service in all of the country at the moment via satellite. Every constituent that you represent can secure broadband access a minimum of 2 megabytes per second via satellite. And I'm told that this can go upwards of 10, 12. There is a significant cost for this, but it is possible. So this seems to me like an ideal solution. It's cheaper, it's quicker, and it is undeniably greener because it is using less energy in order to be able to provide the service for the data to be sent around. And indeed, it's the same satellites, I might add, who with the information from all of our BlackBerries and mobile phones. This also relies upon the space industry.
Friend, give way.
Of course, I'll give way.
I'm grateful to the honourable member for giving way, but would he also not acknowledge that satellite broadband isn't as reliable as mobile broadband in the context that we've been talking about, and in fixed line links?
Yeah.
I would accept this, and I think there has been an improvement. I mean, the recent satellites, one of which I had the privilege of seeing launched before Christmas, this new Ka band satellite that's been put up, there's room for improvement with the efficiency and the effectiveness of satellites. But the space industry has plenty of experience and evidence of making those developments. Now, by the end of this Parliament, there will be apparently 300,000 links possible via satellites for broadband. This is quite a few, and I'm sure that covers quite a few of the homes and businesses that my honourable friends are here to represent. Broadband Delivery UK estimates that there are about 2 million businesses and homes in this country that do not have good enough broadband. I'm one of them, and plenty of my constituents to the west of my constituency are others. The final thing I will say about the space industry is that this is a successful industry. This is £7.5 billion annual revenue for this country, and it employs over 80,000 people. The companies that provide this broadband service, it doesn't just provide it here, they provide it abroad. So they sell these services, some of them to 50, 60 countries abroad. This is bringing income into this country. So in the process of providing a service, a broadband service that we all know is needed for this country, we would also be exporting. And I think that is fantastic in itself. Finally, so I just want to conclude. For me, to use the phrase that my honourable friend for Penrith used earlier, this is a no-brainer. Okay? This is going to be a combination of solutions in order to provide broadband for everybody. It is going to be wireless, mobile, it is going to be fibre optic, but I would suggest for those difficult to reach places in this country that space provides the solution. We're fantastic with space, and we already are providing solutions for broadband, so let's provide some more. Because ultimately infrastructure matters.
Yeah.
We've heard reference to the visionaries of the Victorian age with regards to trains. Well, there was one mistake made, actually, during that period. If my British social and economic history serves me well, we decided to go with Stephenson's gauge on the rail instead of going with Brunel's. And I think the analogy can be drawn here that Brunel had a wider gauge, and we could have gone faster in our trains, and now we are struggling to build fast trains that, unfortunately, my honourable friend has now left the chamber, but we're now struggling to provide faster trains. If we'd gone with Brunel, we would have those faster trains. I would suggest that when it comes to broadband, we should also adopt exactly the same approach. Let's not have a narrow vision, let's have a broad vision. Let's put in a system which provides the very best broadband for all of our constituents. Thank you.
Yeah.
If everybody keeps to about 5 minutes or so, everybody should get in.